Hello and welcome to the Outcast. I'm your host HC, and with me is.
Wolf.
And way less people this time, but come on in, grab your keys because it's season 2 of Hazbin Hotel. Um, I, I don't think we need to introduce this show because if you're on the internet, you know what Hazbin Hotel is probably. And you also know that we covered season 1 a bit after it released, but we're way more on time with this one, I think, because
Yeah.
it literally ended just a few days ago.
Yes, actually, quite literally.
So yeah, this time we're on time. Commenter who bothered to tell us that we were too late, but eh, anyway,
It
so
works.
just
It's fine.
indeed,
There's
it's
no such
always
thing as
fun.
late on the internet.
Mhm. I mean, depends on who you ask, but yes.
Oh,
So
they're wrong.
that be, hmm, that being said, though, so in case you don't have the time to brush up on the season 1 podcast we did, which I didn't have the time to do myself, honestly, but I said season 1 I really liked. I appreciate what it did for the industry, and that more and more indie animations are starting to pop out and more people are starting to put their foot out there in other ways. And and I think it's a really important show that opened the door for a lot of creatives. But I also say it's not perfect, and it had some problems that I hoped would be addressed in the future. But overall, I would say that I'm on the positive side with season 1. Wolf,
Yeah, I
you?
really enjoyed season one. I mean, it's great to see, a show and a creator, right, that started on YouTube has been doing animation on YouTube for some time now, which would be hell of a boss, right? And they succeeded. They made it
Well, but
into the industry, right?
and yeah, so because Has Been Hotel as the pilot came out first, and
Hmm.
it got this so much a lot of attention, which kind of I think the Hell of a Bus started after the Has Been pilot, but
I think
Has
no.
Been was
Was it after the pilot?
y-
I thought it was a little
yeah,
bit before.
no, Hell of a Bus started after the Has Been pilot, if
Hmm,
I remember this correctly.
fair enough.
But but then Amazon came in and picked up Asbin, and as we said, we all I pretty sure we said it in season 1, and we also say that when it comes to Hell of a Bus when we cover those, um, the creator may have started out indie, but once it's on a streaming platform that asks you for money to see it, then you're in the big leagues. We are talking about this
Hmm.
as a show that legally you have to pay in order to see. You
Yeah.
know, this is not really a passion project anymore. This is now your job. So ergo, if this is the only thing you're going to bring up against criticizing the show, then I'm sorry. No, this is a show that somebody is making, and a network is charging money to see it. All good to criticizing it if there's something to criticize. But that being said, I honestly have no idea what I think about this season. If I'm honest with you, I am. This is the most in the middle I've seen. That like I want to love this incredible season, and what the fuck is wrong with this season?
I think there's a lot of good stuff here, right? But I am with you in that honestly, I think I prefer season 1 a bit more. And it's it's funny, right? Because we have information, right, where Vivian Madrano has come out and said like season 1 definitely had a lot of like rough patches, right? Like it was
Yeah,
them being new to making a show for like, because they'd been used to at that
under a
point.
boss and
Yeah,
other
like
like
for a studio, for like an episodic thing, for like basically a TV show, right? Like they were making a TV series for mainstream media, right? And that's very
yeah,
different from
because
making
with
something that they
YouTube.
had been used to for YouTube. Yeah.
Mhm. Because I think I also mentioned, just to say this, we are not talking about spoilers for season 2 right now. We will
Yes.
let you know once we start going into spoilers.
Yes,
But
this is
in
non
terms of
spoilers.
general, yeah, non spoilers for the time being. But
But
this is bringing up something that, because I remember I said in the season 1 review we did that it felt like, I'm not claiming to know anything, was just my theory, that when she pitched it, when Vivian Monroe pitched it, it was supposed to be she had like 13 episodes or 20 something episodes per season in mind,
Yes, they
and
definitely
then
had like a
Amazon
longer story,
a-
and apparently
and
there are a
then
lot of stuff
Amazon
left on
told
cutting
her,
room.
You're getting 8 episodes." So she tried to cram those 13, 20 something episodes into 8 episodes, which, is not ideal, but, you have a boss, you need to listen to them.
Well, there's a lot of stuff
Now,
they left on the cutting room floor too that made it into season two, I believe, according to what we know.
so yeah, but my point is that if season one felt like they had a lot of ideas that they just somehow needed to cram, then in with season two it does felt like, okay, we have 8 episodes, this is our limit, we need to work with that. I can see where she wanted to improve the pacing, and to a lot of the to plenty of degree, I think this season is better paced than season one in terms of how the plot is structured, how the plot is progressing. That's that's better. However, it came at the expense of character for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say that season one definitely feels more character driven and character focused, especially even with like everything feels like it connects in for the characters. Like you look at songs like "You're a Loser, Baby" and a very popular song from season one,
It
and
is the song from season one,
yeah,
basically.
more or less, yeah. There might be one other that might be considered the song, I think, but that's definitely high up there for most people. But like you look at that song, right, and you see all of the character intricacies for Angel in that song and for Husk in that song and just all the background stuff that's going on too. There's a just everything connects into the characters and it's just so character driven and focused. Whereas this season, I think you do see, your typical, okay, we know we're getting season two now. We know we're getting a season three and season four now as well, right? That's been confirmed.
Yeah,
They
the
knew this.
seasons 3 and 4 have been confirmed. There is a plan for five, but as far as I'm aware, the green light is not official on it
hmm
yet.
So you can see, like, okay, well, we can expand our scope now. We can start doing more. We can give you more world building. And because of that, we do kind of shift away from the character focus to some degree at the very least. And I
It's
think
not
I
just
would.
character focus, and
Oh, go
we'll
ahead.
get more into this with spoilers, but it felt more that the characters made decisions that the only possible reason I can think they made them is to move the plot along,
Mm,
not because the characters would necessarily do that.
mm, that's fair. I I would say either way, right? It's I would say if you enjoyed season one and you fell in love with season one, and you're coming into season two, especially if you came into season one and you fell in love with season one because of all of the character focus and the character driven nature of season one, I would say you may not enjoy season two as much.
I think if you liked season one, you will probably enjoy
Well, I think
season
you'll still
two,
enjoy it,
but
but I think you'll
but
notice.
yeah, but I think also depends on how you're. I think it also depends on what you liked about season one to begin with,
Mm,
because
agreed.
season two, for the most part, again we'll get to that. For the most part, it delivers on what it promises. The thing is that I'm not sure how people are going to are going to react to what it actually delivers,
That's fair.
because I've seen some mixed reception from either friends who also like it or a bit online. Then again, you can also argue that the reception for season one was kind of mixed, but in terms of fans, I've seen both sides.
It's interesting, right? Because like season two, I would say from a production level, right, is better. It's better.
Oh,
Like everything about it is better. But
hmm
I would say like I still prefer season one, and I think some of that has to do with season two answers a lot of questions, right? Whether you wanted those answers or not. Like for instance, we learn more about Alistair. No spoilers yet.
Yeah, this is spoilers. We're not talking about this, but yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying spoilers. We learn more about Alistair, but that's all I'll say for now until we get into it.
Okay.
And I I would say I think he was better left a mystery. I don't know if I fully like those answers, right?
Well, you're talking to the only person on Earth that doesn't like Alistair to begin with, but we'll talk about this later.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Again, I still think the show for season 2, I would say for me at least, I still enjoyed my time with it. I still had fun. It's I still would say it's very good. I would say like production level also great. I'm just
Like in terms of the animation and also I think the songs, this that like we kind of said that Loser Baby is the song for season one. Not to say that the other songs in season one were slaughtered, not at all.
I
There
mean,
are a lot of
season
great
1
ones,
had a
but
lot of good ones like Hell's Greatest
yeah,
Dad, Poison, fucking like
Hell is Forever.
yes, Hell is Forever.
But I think though in season two there isn't a song that I would say yes, that's the banger one. That's the one everyone's gonna cover. This is the one that's gonna blow up. There are a lot of those in season two. There are like the music I think was way better in this season.
Yeah, but there's nothing as you said, there's nothing that really like stands out as the one, I would say, right?
No, when I say there's nothing that really stands out is the one. It's actually more a compliment because
Oh, I
if
see.
every song is to this caliber, to the point I can't really tell you which one is going to be the one, that goes to show you the quality of the songs.
That's fair.
But yeah, when it comes to but when I'm looking at the entire journey and thinking about it all together, it's kind of like I don't know, something was missing. Is that the characters felt not as strong this time around. And if the characters need to make dumb decisions in order for the story to progress, then not the first time I'm saying this on this podcast, but the characters shouldn't serve the story.
That's fair. I would agree.
So, anything else non spoilery that you want to say, or should we just jump into it?
Nah, let's jump into it.
Okay, so spoilers for season two of Hazbin Hotel starting in three, two, one. You still here? Okay. So you know what? Let's put the show to the side for a second. Let's talk about the one thing that absolutely pissed me off. What the fuck is up with Lilith, Charlie's mother?
Uh-huh, what about her?
That was the big cliffhanger in season one. That's like, hey, your daughter is starting shit up. Please go down there. And then we get a few times when Charlie's trying to call her and she ghosts her. We see her once in episode two where she ghosts Charlie again. And then the next thing we know is that she's calling Charlie up at the very last second of season two. And this is the cliffhanger now. So it's like, so what was the point of teasing it? Like, it's essentially promising something and then not delivering on it. That was so freaking weird.
I get what you mean, and I don't disagree. Here's my thing, right? I I was never that interested in Lilith. I know you hate Alistair, which is wild to say. But
We'll get there. We'll
I
get
was more
there.
interested in Alistair. And so I think it's interesting that, because we've been told, right, that Lilith is supposed to be like the major mystery of the entire show. So obviously you're not going to do much with her in season 2. You're probably going to wait till season 3 to do anything with her, unless they tease it again and then
That's
do
the thing,
nothing for
though.
all of season 3. That would be hilarious.
But I felt though for what was supposed to be the big cliffhanger the previous time, they did nothing with it, and I've seen people try to defend it that fans were expecting too much with it, and it's like, yeah, we were expecting too much because that's what they promised. And for the record, this is not the Achilles heel of this season. It doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't kill the show or something. But I am when it was all said and done, I am kind of living. I kind of have this confused, huh? That not only that you do nothing with it, and then it's the cliffhanger again.
I don't know. I'm fine with it personally, right? I get it. And they give a good enough explanation as to why she doesn't like very quickly doesn't get involved, like with like the angels telling her, yo, never mind, you don't have to do anything. And so, like,
Yeah,
I'm
but
okay with
again,
it, but I do get
it
why
felt
you
like
wouldn't be, or why other people wouldn't be.
backpedaling to me,
That's fair.
but
That's
yeah,
fair.
whatever.
Again, like, I'm
But
personally fine with it, but I do get it. But yeah,
mhm.
like I was saying, right? Like for me, I felt like Alistair was potentially the bigger mystery of the show, and then we had his mystery kind of just revealed. So
So do you
Lilith
want
was
to go
never a
first on
big
this?
thing for me.
Because let's I'll let you go first on this. Talk about Alistair. I am curious. I'll
I
go after.
listen. I dislike that. Like his. I mean, maybe it was revealed. Maybe you can like look into it deep enough and see. Oh no, this was always going to be the reveal. But I just dislike that the big reveal for Alistair is that his connection is with the cannibal lady, basically.
Yeah.
Like that's who he has a deal with because they set it up in the last bit of season 1, right, where he has a
They
deal and he's
set up
looking
that
for
he's
out of
at
his
least
own way out of a deal.
mhm. Yeah, they
And
tease that he's under someone's control.
and to me, I don't know personally. I
Sorry.
again, maybe I read that wrong, but it seemed like they were setting up that to be Lilith, right? And then it's just revealed that it's the cannibal lady, and it kind of feels
But it
eh.
feels odd though. I get what you mean. Regardless if it's Lilith or not, regardless of who it could be, it's kind of it's and I think the show is somewhat self-aware of it that it's kind of pathetic that this badass most powerful demon in hell is essentially this bimbo's bitch.
I love how you put it that way.
Uh, I
Wild.
mean, I'm going
But
with
you're
the
not
show's
wrong. You're not
words.
wrong.
This
Yeah, no, no, no.
like that you think, oh my God, who is going to be in charge of this strongest demon in hell? And it's like, it's just this old lady. That's like,
Which
okay.
again, I think is very much in fashion for the show. And this is very much probably a me nitpick, right? But I expected there to be more, and then when it's all revealed to me, I'm kind of like, eh, eh, I'm okay with it, but like, I was hoping for more. Whether I got my hopes up too high or not is up for debate, I'm sure. Excuse me.
Because
But
I've seen two friends debate this, and one said that she was disappointed with that, and the other said, well, there were hints that she's the one that's controlling him. And it's like, okay, fine, there were hints at it, but it doesn't make it any less stupid or unfulfilling. Personally,
no, that's fair. That's basically that's kind of the exact same way I feel. Like, yeah, there are probably hints that I missed them, and that's on me. But I'm still a little disappointed by it. I was hoping for more. Again, that's on me too. But that's just how I feel about it. But I did.
but
I will say
then
I loved getting the view of him before he became a demon, before he went to hell,
yeah,
before he died. That was cool. I love to see that stuff. I think we got a few things like that, and I thought those were like great little
that's
intro, like
that
little.
was interesting, but maybe it's my bias. And again, we'll get to why I don't like Alistair again. We will, I promise you. But it also just felt like I want to be powerful, so I did necromancy and found this lady here from hell. I'm just going to make a deal with her to become powerful. That's it. That's the backstory. That's Alistair's backstory. Like you can say that it gave away something that didn't need to be given away, but then again, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's just like I want to be powerful. I
I
can
mean,
make you powerful. I'm
I'm okay
in.
with that though. It's very much like yo, I know I'm going to hell, so if I'm going to hell, I'm gonna make a friend before I go. Give me the ability to do all this shit,
You
and
see,
sure.
fair enough. Fair enough. What led to that? What exactly made them think I am going straight to hell?
I mean,
I
probably the
my
fact that it
problem
killed a
here is
bunch of people.
yeah, well, he killed a bunch of Serpentius did too. He was redeemed. What is the point?
No, Serpentius
Eh,
didn't kill anybody in life. Serpentius, like we see his things, like he's just he feels guilty because he let someone else kill a bunch of people, basically.
Oh, by
He
the way,
let a
funny
killer get
story
away.
about that,
That and
but
he
we'll
feels
get
guilty
there.
for that, and that's what sent him to hell.
So,
Really,
but
let's be honest.
anyway, but
The man got sent to hell for like no reason whatsoever. Really, let's be honest. He did nothing wrong other than he was guilty because he let a killer get away, and that was enough to send him to hell. And it's like, God dang,
well,
like
if the
yeesh.
good place taught me anything, is that morality is fucked. But anyway, eh, but when it comes to this, so okay, he knows he's going to hell, so he's gonna make a deal with a powerful deal. Okay, fine. And then the show's words, not mine. He dies in the most pathetic fucking way. That like I'm supposed to take this guy seriously. This is the most. I get. Maybe that's the joke.
Yes,
Maybe
again,
that's
I
the
think it's
joke.
very much this style of humor for this show. Of again, he's supposed to be an all powerful sinner in hell, but he died because someone mistook him for a deer and he got shot, and that
Yeah.
was it.
And it's pathetic. It's pathetic. You have this guy who is like this overly cynical and like I'm the best thing to ever happen, and it's like, and he's pathetic. He's a piece of shit.
Again,
There's
I
nothing
do
else.
think that's the point.
So you know what? If this is supposed to be the joke, then you know what? Fair enough. That's on me. But I can also say that the joke works too well because there's nothing else appealing about him. To me, anyway.
Fair enough. Again, like
And you know what?
it's fair.
You know what? We're on the Salazar tangent. Might as well get this out of the way. I don't like this character, and you know what? I'm pissed that I don't. Because if you know my taste, because you laugh, but if you know my taste in characters, you know that I love sarcastic asshole
Yeah, the
characters.
Alistair should be right up your alley.
Yeah, he should be like look at Sonic, look at Spider-Man, look at Hiccup, look at the reason why I prefer Supergirl to Superman. Okay,
Hmm?
what do all of these have in common? They're sarcastic assholes, and I love them for it. But Alistair isn't hitting the right spots for me, and I'm trying to figure out why.
I mean, it's
Why
interesting
is
because
it
he
that?
spent this entire season basically being a sassy little bitch.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to figure so hard why he's not clicking with me because he should click with me. You just said, right? You know, we've been doing this podcast for like 9 years now.
Hmm.
You know that he's supposed to be right up my alley, right?
Yeah,
So why isn't he? And I thought about it and I tried to figure this out, and I think I have it. Don't, but let's see. The thing that really that kind of that put everything in perspective for me. There are two things actually. One, I don't think he earns the right to be this sarcastic. Yes, we saw his power before. We know that he's all powerful. We know all of that. But when do we actually see him be that badass that everyone is hyping up as this great shit? We really don't. We just have the joke that he's supposed to be this big shit that everyone is afraid of, and Vox wants to take down. But he's not really anything besides that. He's just a name. Everyone just talks him up. And besides one episode in the previous season, he's not really living up to the name, in my opinion. And the
I would say
other
the end
thing,
of this season gives you like gives you some of
then,
that.
funny you mention it because my next point is the other thing when they're at the end and this weapon is about to blow and everyone is trying to stop it, and he actually tells Rosie, "Nah, unless you give me power again, I'm not gonna help. I don't care that everyone is gonna get blown up unless I have my power." I think that's the thing that kills them the most for me. Because, okay, sarcastic asshole, he doesn't necessarily care about anyone. I get that. Fine. That's not. But, that scene kind of showed that's all he is. There's nothing else to him. Look at all the other sarcastic characters I mentioned, be Sonic, Spider-Man, Hiccup, Supergirl, and enter anyone else. They're all sarcastic assholes. But there's another side to them. There's another layer to it besides that. This is just there's you could argue that this sarcastic asshole thing is a mask they put on when they're going out to the field to do to whatever, because that's how they cope to some degree. But they have other personality traits. Alistair doesn't have that. That's all he is, a sarcastic asshole.
Well,
That's lame to me. I'm sorry.
you want the sarcastic asshole who's actually they're a little bit good at heart. What
It's not
Alistair
even a matter
is,
of being.
well, what
It's not
Alistair
even a matter
is
of.
yes, he is a sarcastic asshole, but I would say he is a sarcastic asshole who does not care about anything else. He only cares about himself and he wants power, and that's it.
And you know something, that would have been fine if he were the villain. But the show keep insisting that, you know what. I have a perfect comparison. Bear with me on this. The show is basically turning him into Brian Griffin from Family Guy.
Uh huh.
You don't know what I'm talking about, so let's just put this straight. Brian Griffin is a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Who else is an asshole to the same degree in Family Guy? Quagmire. Now, the thing is, though, Quagmire is at least aware that he's an asshole. It doesn't make him likable and he should die a horrible death, but he is at least admitting, I'm an asshole. And the show knows that he's an asshole. Brian Griffin doesn't admit once that he's an asshole, and the show treats him like he's not. Now, it sounds familiar. You know what other show? Oh yeah, Alistair and Vox. Vox is also an a sarcastic asshole that doesn't give a that who doesn't give a shit about anyone. That's the main thing in this season, that he kind of just puts the V's to the side and he doesn't care. He just wants to become a god. But you know what makes him interesting? That's the point. He's the villain. I'm supposed to be. This is the point of him. This is his downfall. This is why it's satisfying to see him fall down. Alistair doesn't get that. Alistair is just allowed to be a dick, and everyone just is just okay with him being a dick, and there's nothing else to him.
You know, there's potentially a later season that we do get him as a villain, and you're gonna have to potentially come back and say, "I was wrong."
You know what? Then you know what? After this entire rant, I will say I said it in season 1 too when I admitted that I don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
I will be completely happy and okay with raising my arms up and saying I was wrong about
Mm-hmm.
Alistair.
That's fair.
I don't know why I need to wait how many seasons it's gonna take until we get there, but I am willing to say to put my foot down and say I was wrong.
Yeah. No.
Make me wrong, show.
I, again, like I get fully why you don't like him, and I can see why you wouldn't like him. I enjoy him,
Fair
but
enough. And again, I know I'm completely aware that I'm the minority, and
oh
I'm
no, fair, fair,
expecting
fair,
all the
fair.
hate mail to come.
Nothing wrong. Again, like not everything's for everyone, right? But I would say that yeah, like I enjoy the fact that he's a sarcastic asshole, and that's all there is to it. He's just here for I want more power, I want to be stronger, I want to be in charge, and I don't give a shit about anything or anyone else, and I'll do whatever I have to get to that point, right? I'm here for that. I love that, but I fully understand why you wouldn't be, and I don't know if the show will, but I do hope, I hope a little bit at least, and I would enjoy seeing it if Alistair did turn into the villain in a later season as the yeah as maybe a final villain of the show potentially. I think that would be enjoyable personally, but I could be wrong.
that
Who knows?
I'd be up to see something interesting happen with him, because so far the show gives me nothing with him. So
I mean,
again,
at this
make
point,
me
they have to do something
make me
with
wrong.
him because he's kind of just around now. He's kind of achieved his goal, which was at least from season one, from the ending, he wanted to break out of his deal. Well, he's done that now. It's over now. So
Kinda, because it's implied by the end that he did make a new deal with Rosie
no,
so that he would
he's
help
out.
the
He's no
others.
longer under her thumb. Like that
Mhm.
he had her repair his staff and heal him, but that was it. He no longer has to do anything for her.
Yeah. We'll see what's going on with him whenever season three drops.
But yeah, like
So,
they definitely need something new for him, so we'll see. Unless
make
his
me wrong, show. I said it again. Make me wrong,
unless his
please.
role is literally just I'm here to make Lucifer's life miserable. In which
If
case,
this is all it's gonna be, then nothing is gonna change for me.
I
But we
mean,
shall see.
I'm okay with that a little bit though.
Hmm.
That might be funny for a bit. We'll see.
So that, with that being said, I talked about this entire thing enough. So, any particular character you want to discuss? Because
Oh
I kind of
man,
went on with Alistair.
you did. um, I'll point out that what is her actress's name? Um,
Who are we talking about? What
because
character?
you mentioned it. Baggy, her voice actress Stephanie
Stephanie
Beatriz.
Beatriz. Yeah, love
Uh,
her.
you mentioned last season that her when we covered it, I believe that her singing was a little iffy here or there.
No, no, no. You misunderstood me. There was the thing I pointed out, and it's true to this season as well. Actually,
Mhm.
that whenever because when she's speaking as Vaggie, she's essentially doing her Rosa voice
Yeah.
from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you
Yes.
haven't seen that show, watch it. Awesome show. So but she's doing this tough voice that it's very deep, and she's talking like this.
Yes.
But but whenever she starts singing, it's her regular voice that you can hear in Encanto.
Oh.
And after that's and again, it's not bad, but I mean, she's a fantastic singer, and I
Hmm.
especially like "Easy," the duet she has with Charlie. That's a great
Mm.
song. That's one of my favorites this season. So she's a fantastic singer. It's just that it's just kind of funny that she goes from this deep top voice to her regular voice. Like if I didn't know her from other projects, I wouldn't be able to tell you that it's the same person. That's the thing.
That's what you said. I mean, I would say I think she did better about it this season in keeping that same voice, but yeah, you can definitely tell like it changed a little bit here or there.
And again, I think it's probably also because I am familiar with the actress besides that. Like I've seen her in a
Ah,
bunch of
no,
other
fair,
stuff,
fair.
so there's a good chance that it's just that as well.
Well, other than that, though, I would say she took a bit of a back seat this season. I think the
Yeah, it was
focus was a
kind
bit more
of.
on Alistair, Serpentius, a little bit of Charlie, definitely Vox, and some of the other and the V's themselves. And
Yeah, Vanky was weird because they tried to introduce this idea that she wants to change her name, but then the supposed character development she went through is that she's now running the hotel by the end, and it's like, was this ever set up? Like, yeah, she kind of runs it alongside Charlie, but like it was never really a point of contention at some. So.
well, it seems like they've
uh,
made her like she does all the hotel stuff, and Charlie does all of the redemption slash therapy stuff. It seems like so more or less the same kind of position they were in before, but now it's official.
Probably. That's one way to look at it. So
we did
but yeah,
get
Vaggie didn't.
we did get a
What do
bit
you
of a
say?
new character this season as well. What is his name?
Oh, the guy that scientist guy who used to work with Penchess.
Yes,
Yeah, that I didn't get his point. He
Baxter.
disappeared halfway through.
I
No,
mean,
yeah, I shouldn't say that he did play a part in the finale, but it's like,
yeah,
hmm.
maybe we'll get more of him later. But I like he definitely felt like a character that was just kind of added to one be there at the end to do the few things he did, and two to just kind of be around and have some comedy moments, and that was it.
And if anything, when he comes into the hotel at the very at the first episode, and they're like, "You can be the new Penches," and it's like, I think the writers were kind of signing their own insurance here. That's like, "Yep, he's the not Penches." Kinda, even though Penchas is still around because he's in heaven, but it's kind of like, yeah, Penchas is not here, so he's going to take over the same role, supposedly. Not really.
But yeah, no, I'd agree. Moving along
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, so but you know what? I'll just run through the other characters a bit because Husk also didn't really get anything to do this time around. But the
Husker
only
got a
thing that he
lot
really
of
gets,
Angel.
yeah, like that's the one thing that they keep hinting that he and Angel are going to be a thing. Which I mean, have you seen? Everyone and their mother knows Loser Baby. It would be kind of stupid not to follow along with it, but otherwise, like, there's this point where it's like, well, Alistair is caught and is no longer in the hotel, so I can just leave. I don't have to be here. And then he gets drunk, which actually this is another any excuse that anyone gives Kit David to sing is a good thing in my
Mm.
book. But then it's also kind of like, oh my god, I miss Angel, and then Angel gets kidnapped, and essentially, and then it's like when Angel just decides to stay with Valentino, which we'll get to later. It's like, okay, so what did Husk really do this time around? Nothing. He
Basically,
was just gonna.
it was a lot of gay angst. It was
As
a lot of
kind
pining
of,
and angst for the gays, and that's it.
which for the record, nothing wrong with that. On the contrary, I guess you could say I ship them. Okay, I'm completely up for it.
That's fair.
But in terms of the overall plot, nothing really progressed with him, and kind of the same for Angel, who is just like, honestly, if the poor boy was fucked in season one, season two doesn't let him really, like, episode three is just cruel to this guy,
Mm.
like fuck. And then the entire time where we find out that Vox actually hypnotized them to spy on the hotel, it's like, fucking hell, I Angel, what the fuck? This guy needs therapy after this. Like,
Yeah, I think the next thing for season three will definitely be dealing with Valentino and Angel and that whole deal, right? It has to, right? Because as you said, at
yeah,
the end of it, we have Angel going back with Valentino because Vox had been controlling him, and he doesn't want to hurt his friends, right? With Vox
yeah,
potentially controlling him again, and Husk is really upset about this and doesn't know what to do and doesn't run after him or anything. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. I'm interested, and we still have Husk, who's, as far as I'm aware, has a deal with Alistair as well and still beholden to him. So
yeah. And
maybe
that's the
both of
thing.
them will break that.
They don't really because when Alistair is cut by Vox, then Husk is basically, okay, I'm out because Alistair is not here. That means I'm free. But now that Alistair is back in the hotel, they don't really. I don't recall, at least, that they don't really talk about, is the deal still a thing? Are they still in? Do they
To be
still
fair,
have
this was at the very end, so we don't know, right?
Yeah, so they don't really, but they don't really say anything. So for all we know, Husk is staying at the hotel not because Alistair is there, but because he just cares about everyone, and he knows that they're gonna fight to get Angel back.
Mhm.
So there's that. But yeah, but Angel this season, he was my favorite character in season one. In this season, I really wanted to give him a hug. Like, the poor guy is going through a lot. Like, shit, man. Like, episode three in general, I'm kind of iffy on for a lot of reasons, but I'm pretty sure that the main reason this episode exists is to fuck with Angel emotionally, and damn. Not to mention the entire Vox to control over him twist. That's just, this season hates Angel Dust.
Agreed.
Do you agree? Not agree?
Agreed.
Hmm.
Angel gets it rough. He does.
Yeah. I hate that it sounds dirty in context of this show. I hate that it has double meaning. Fucking hell. Uh, You know what? We talked about this. Can I just say, I am very uncomfortable with how they're making Valentino have all the audience surrogate lines sometimes. That he's just saying what the audience thinks because motherfucker's a sex offender. I don't want to relate to him.
I
Which,
mean,
again, probably the joke. I understand.
yeah.
But it can still make me ill.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. That is extremely fair. but yeah, I would say it's probably a bit of the joke. And again, he's a demon in hell, so you know.
I think this is the explanation to why just does awful shit. It's hell.
I mean,
Everyone's a
this is
demon in
true.
hell. So so you know something, one of my favorite songs in this season, for the not just for the name, I promise you, is Piss.
Oh yeah, I wonder
That
why.
that is a banger of a song, okay? That's one of the best love ballads in every freaking show ever.
Hmm.
Just a shame that they don't really do anything with it.
That's the
It's
one.
like,
To be clear, that's the one Cherry Bomb and Serpentius sing together, right?
yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
I, yeah. I mean, they've kind of set up that there's nothing they can do with it, right? Because Serpentius can't come from heaven to hell, so they're
But then
kind of in a weird
they basically
situation.
just get a Discord call at the end, and it's like, okay,
They
guess.
quite literally do a Discord video call, basically. Or for those of us who are older, Skype. I know you young
I
ones
was
don't know what
about to
that
say
is.
Skype, but then I'm like, no, Discord, Discord, Discord.
Discord is what the young people know. Yeah, I'm aware. Or
It, do you guys know that we started on Skype when we
this is
started
true.
this? But yeah, like again, though, it's one of those things that they set up at the start that Cherry Bomb actually starts feeling. Oh, okay, he actually try saved me. Like that's really sweet. That's wholesome. That's not. And then and then we just forget about it. Then we forget about it for a few episodes, and at the end they get their little Discord call, and it's like, okay, maybe there's still something that's going on there. And I understand that Serpentians can't communicate with people in hell, but it's like, I don't know, something, just a
Yeah, no, I
bit.
agree. Again, maybe they have plans for it. Maybe they plan to. Excuse me. Maybe Serpentius falls, becomes a fallen angel. Maybe Cherry gets redeemed as well. There's potential, right? But so far, it's kind of gone nowhere, which is really a shame because, again, like you said, right? Like Piss is that was exceptionally well done. I would say probably one of the better songs of the season, and how in terms of how well it was done, and the fact that the VA for Serpentius managed to sing that song
Alex Brightman, yeah, like a
while keeping
talent
the
in his own
voice,
way.
while
Hmm.
keeping the voice as well.
Yeah, singing in this kind of voice
Yeah,
is very hard. Yeah.
yeah. So like, well done to him, by the way. But
Mhm. Speaking of, he gets another banger of a song, "Gravity," and I
mm,
like the idea that what's her name? The chick who doesn't want to forgive hell. What's her name?
oh, oh, Loot,
I forgot her.
Loot,
Loot.
Loot.
Yes. So like I'm like, okay, that's a nice way to get Adam in here. That she kind of imagines him, and he's talking to her through her head, and they have and there's Gravity, which is a
Yes.
banger song. Nothing with it again, disappears. It's like,
Again,
you have a good ideas
it's
here.
interesting, right? Because like I would say, and this is something I keep coming back to. Season two feels like a season one, not a season
um
two. And what I mean by
yeah.
that is season
Hmm.
two sets up a bunch of things for the future, but nothing that's going to get
which,
resolved in the season. It doesn't feel like a season two.
which is interesting, because this is something I was about to get to when we were going to get to Vox, because I want to save the big part, the big stuff for later. But Vox was kind of the same in season one, that he was just like in an episode. He had the one song with Alistair, Stayed Gone, and then you just kind of forgot about him.
Y-
Suddenly he's your main villain here, and there's
yes.
nothing wrong with that, for the record.
I mean, no,
But it
him,
feels
I mean,
again,
good villain.
yeah. But here's the thing: it's kind of the same thing now that I'm thinking about it. That they plant those seeds in one season just so that they could be a bigger part in the next one, and fair enough, you know that you're getting those next seasons unless Amazon does a backflip and decide to cancel the whole thing, which I hope is not the case.
So far, Amazon's
But
not Netflix.
uh, true, but you may never know. You may never know. Weirder shit
True.
happened. So,
True.
eh, but the thing is though, it's not so it's nice that you can set this up because you know you're getting those next seasons, but you set up so many good things that don't go anywhere in this one season, and it kind of and it feels lackluster when I'm like, oh, when you listen to Gravity and you're getting hyped up, it's like, all right, what is this going to lead to?
Well,
What is it? Just a little bit when Habel yells at her and she sees Adam, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess this is what it led to. Okay,
yeah,
so
Abel's
nothing. Okay,
Abel's coming into his own. He's getting confidence. Maybe
that's
he'll
also a
be
thing
like,
that like they build this up that he doesn't know how to take over for Adam. Again, interesting plot point resolved out of nowhere.
maybe there's more to it later. Maybe we just watched season one. Again, like I would say, like, these are things that you, I think, rightfully so, would find problematic or complain about or criticize in a season two, but as a season one, they're not that bad. They're fine
Yeah,
because
but
you know
this is
they're
season
this is
two,
season one.
though.
But yes, this is season two, and while it's fine to say, okay, here's some questions for season two, we'll answer them in season three, right? Like, whether you like it or not, and fully I understand why you don't, like, Lilith is something that, okay, we'll get there in season three, fair enough. And, a few other small things you can say, okay, we'll get there in season three, fair enough. But some of these were set up in season one. Like, we still had Loot having a problem with with Hell and wanting to still exterminate them from season one,
Mhm.
from the ending there, right? And we carried
Yeah.
that over into season two. You need to be doing something a little bit more with it than just a song, right? Like, I'll tell you, right? Like, from watching that episode, the way I felt, right? It's like, okay, she's gonna kill Sarah or Emily, right? Like, that's what's gonna happen here. Like, Lute's gonna kill one of them or do something and take over, right? Like, that's what's gonna happen here. And then just nothing. She kind of just sits around doing nothing
Hmm.
until, yeah, no, she just sits around doing nothing.
Yeah,
She
that's
comes in at the end, it's
again.
like, all right, I'm here to kill people. No. Abel grows a spine, says no, and that's it. It's like, okay.
Like I said, it's like okay, like that's an arc, all right, but it's a
Again,
rushed arc.
maybe they plan on doing more with it, but right now it feels like a waste. It,
And
I don't
like I
necessarily it
said,
feels like
this
a waste, but it just feels like, okay, well, that was lackluster and a little disappointing. I hope you plan on doing more with it eventually, but if not, why is the character still here?
yeah, because this is coming back to some. We talked about this topic a
And
lot, not just with Hazbin Hotel, but with a lot of other shows. When when they set up something that's we are only going to get a resolution for in the next seasons, and sometimes you don't even know if you're going to get those seasons. In this case, we know that we are, but when you need to wait in order to see if something is going to turn out well or not, at some point I can't give the show mercy points for promising me it's gonna go somewhere. We promise. I need to judge what I'm given with these 8 episodes, and as for what we're given, sorry, no dice.
I mean, and that's the other thing, right, that you have to talk about too, right? Like, there is a point where, okay, I'm fine with leaving the show with questions, right? That's not a problem. We do that all the time. That's what keeps us coming back for the next season. Nothing wrong with that. But if your entire season is, here's a bunch of questions, nothing is solved, you get no answers, see you in the next season, that doesn't feel very enjoyable. There is a balance you have to strike. You have to give some answers, you have to keep some things, questions, or come up with new questions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't think season two struck a good balance with that. And while another thing I would add as well, like, there were some things that felt like they were just added in. And this is one of the issues I felt like I had with season 2, right? Personally, for me at least, while I love all the songs in season 2, they were all very enjoyable. I'm gonna be real with you, I didn't need Gravity. Gravity, as of right now at least, feels like we have this really cool idea for a song. Let's do it. But
It
if you
doesn't do
look,
what a musical should do, and that's move the plot along. That's what
yeah,
you're saying.
well, not only that, like, at least for this, it doesn't move the plot along for this season. If it plans to move the plot along for later, fair enough. But right now, it just feels like, why is
It's a song
Gravity
that's there
here?
and didn't accomplish anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get
Like,
you.
why is Gravity here? It's not doing anything. Like, Lute's not doing anything with all that anger and pent up rage, right? Like, nothing's happening from that. We just know she's angry. And again, fair enough. It's a great song. It's cool the way they do Adam being in her head and stuff. Very interesting. But if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be missing it, to be honest.
Yeah. hmm So I guess the two more characters that we can kind of just skim over. One is Nifty, has one of the best songs personally.
No, 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 actually
It-
pretty good. But she's
Clean it up. Clean it up is hilarious. I love that song, and especially I love that all the bad stuff she sings in English, but the good stuff that needs to be the point she sings in Japanese. That's fucking hilarious.
it's also just extremely clever, right? From an
Yeah.
animation standpoint and everything, also. So,
And also because Komiko Glenn obviously knows Japanese,
mhm.
so there's that's pretty cool. Um, a- and then the other, you know what? We didn't really talk about what's her name, the reporter that Brandon Rogers voices because we needed him in the show apparently. Talk about a funny idea that again is just like okay, we honestly, the main joke with her just seems to be that it's Brandon Rogers. And if you know his voice, and you probably know if you're watching this show, that's really it. Nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's a bit character, right? It's just a character that
With,
comes in, does their thing.
again,
So,
again, nothing wrong with that. It was cool to. It was cool hearing him there, and
mhm.
and again, I'm pretty sure that like 90% of this character's dialogue isn't even a script. He just improvised that.
I mean, probably
I am willing to, I am willing to sign off on that.
would not be
But
surprised.
Mhm. So there's nothing wrong with that, but in the long scheme of things, what is this character doing? Just try to shit talk Charlie and the Hazbin Hotel?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
that's what Vox is doing. Okay.
I mean, she works for Vox, so fine, fair enough, whatever.
Yeah, but in terms of the story, what does she necessarily add? We have this character already. Just,
Fair, fair.
but I guess it's all water to hear again. I'm not homophobic. I just hate gay people. I'm sure if Brandon Rogers didn't improvise that line, I'm an animal. That's impro. That was probably improvised. And for the record, I'm glad that it's in the show. It's an hilarious line.
Hmm,
Just
hmm.
saying. I'm pretty sure this was just something. Hey, you're here. Do you mind just talking into the mic? Say whatever. We'll walk it in. We promise.
Yeah,
So there's that, and also Lucifer. Oh boy, what
he
did they do to you,
he was
Lucy?
here.
What did they do to you?
He was here. Then he
I
became a
get it.
battery, and then he wasn't here.
I get it. He's pathetic, but for fuck's sake.
I think personally, I do love the decision of, oh no, he actually can't do anything to anyone down here. That is this is his personal hell, that he has to be stuck with all of these horrible people and can do nothing about it or to them. He's just here.
That is funny. That is funny.
Like, that
But
is mwah, beautiful. Love that.
that you see, that's funny. At the same time, though, then what is the point of him going to threaten Vox if he knows that he can't do anything to her? Like, hello?
I mean, the idea, right, is supposed to be, like, oh, he's revealed he actually can't do anything to anybody. So it's like, why is he the king of hell anymore then? Why does anybody answer to him now that we all know that? So, maybe they'll do something with, again, another question to potentially have answered, because that's out there now. But it's it basically there for, I mean, I hate to say it, it's there for plot. And
Yeah,
and that's kind of the other issue with the, like, oh, revealing Angel as this big spy deal. yeah, it
Like I
answers
said,
questions like how did they know all of this stuff? But it feels very like, well, we kind of need a reason for them to know all this stuff. We kind of need a reason for Vox to be in this situation and know these things and be able to do this. And it,
like I said, the characters serve the plot instead of the plot serving the
yeah,
characters. And to me, I am not a fan.
no, that's fair. And I don't, it's interesting as well, right? Because like I do enjoy Vox as a villain. I think
Oh,
it's,
definitely.
I think he's a quite good villain, but I just don't think, I don't think the story served him well as a villain, if that makes sense.
So before we talk
I
about
think the
Vox,
story
we
had to
need.
make a lot of concessions to help him be a villain, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so before we talk about Vox, because I kind of want to save the best for last, because he's kind of the best part about this season.
Mm-hmm.
You might have noticed that besides Vox, there's one character we didn't really talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to save it for this special occasion because this character is kind of important if you've watched the show.
Mm-hmm.
And you might have noticed that we barely mentioned her. It's Charlie herself.
Mm-hmm.
I. Oh my God. You know what? Before I go, what did you think about Charlie this season? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one.
Oh,
I
it's
thought you'll be positive, but
no,
nope.
no.
Let's go.
Like I liked her, but I felt like she was fine. Nothing wrong. Nothing like, but also nothing really good. If that makes sense. Like she's there.
That's a thing to say about you, the main character. She's there.
I
If
mean,
that's
I feel like this season really wasn't focused on her, to be honest, which feels
again the
weird to
main
say.
character, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, it feels weird to say, but to me at least, it feels like the season was more focused on other things than it was her, which is okay,
It's
but
not an issue in the grand scheme of things.
no.
If anything, again, I kind of enjoy whenever there's like a part of a franchise where the story isn't necessarily about the main character. The main character is there to be your avatar to the world, supposedly.
Mhm.
But Charlie is not that. Charlie is supposed to have an arc. Charlie is supposed to move things along, and honestly, you can excuse some of the bad decisions on stress and wanting to achieve something and everything. But there's just so many moments, and I get it that that's her character. She's an overly optimistic, bubbly, gonna go out there and get stuff done because I believe in my dream. I get that that's her character,
Mhm.
but there are points here where it stops being bubbly, not thinking this through, and just be like, fucking hell, this bitch is dumb.
Rude but true.
I'm sorry if I'm rude, but you just said true. There are a lot of episodes this time around just feel like that the reason they happen is because Charlie doesn't stop for a second. You know what? Don't play a drinking game with how many times Vaggie tells her, Charlie, wait. Charlie, let's think about this. Charlie, let's actually sit down. Don't play a drinking game. You will go to the Hazbin Hotel yourself.
Well,
Don't try
I think
it.
a perfect example of this, right, is when it's like, I'm going to go talk with Katie Killjoy on their news show because that's going to set things straight. It's like, is it though? You mean the news
Yeah,
show that you know is owned by Vox, who already slandered you, and you're going to go on there and set things straight? And we know
and
that
what's
the pilot
worse,
is also canon, so you've done this before on this very same show, and it didn't work out then. Do you think it's going to
and
work out now?
I forget the pilot. She's doing the same thing literally an episode earlier, where she just invites Vox and Velvet to the hotel to give them an interview and to show them that the hotel does work because she was just told that Serpentis is in heaven, so that redemption is possible. But she calls them there without any proof, and then she just forces Angel to walk through his demons while the assistances of his boss are there. That's not a charming little mistake. This is stupid.
Yeah.
This is borderline. This is borderline punching the wall again and again and expecting different results.
She feels she feels far too gullible, I would say. Not dumb, but gullible for what she came off as in season 1 and in the pilot.
Because in season
And
one,
even
you
if you
can
don't
tell that.
even if you want to just say don't care about the pilot, that's not canon, I'm not interested in that. Fine, but she still feels more gullible than what she did in season 1, at least to me. Maybe I'm wrong,
Again,
but
even if you ignore the pilot, then like I said, she's literally making the same exact mistake 2 episodes in a row. That's where it stops being gullible. That's like I said, when I look at it and I go, fuck, she's dumb.
I it's going to feel wild to say this, but I genuinely my favorite Charlie moment was when like Alistair tells Vox, right? Like she's gonna stand up to you. She's never gonna agree with you at the whole like very final episode when she's
Mhm.
invited to dinner by him.
Yeah.
And my favorite Charlie moment is when like she is standing up to him. She is telling him, you know, no, I don't agree with you, et cetera, et cetera. And Alistair's like, no, no, tell him what he wants to hear. He is the strongest, you know, demon in hell. And Charlie's like, please don't make me do that. And Alistair calls back in their deal that they made from season 1. Hey, what do you know?
Mhm.
We're answering questions. That
Yeah,
feels
go
really
figure.
enjoyable.
Hmm.
That is genuinely my favorite, you know, Charlie and Alistair moment, really, because it's Alistair being who he is, which is genuinely just an absolute little shit. But you can see, like, oh, this is the Alistair that we all know and love. This is the Alistair who has been planning this from moment one. He knew what he had available. He knew the cards he had to play, and he played them exactly the way he needed to play them.
Which I will say, I did. If I may, I know that I don't like Alistair, but if I may give him one credit to show that I'm not a complete hater, the idea that he told them you are not to lay a hand on her, and that's literally what Vox does. He just lends
Lays
a
a
hand
hand
on
on
her,
her.
and that's it. It's not even a matter of hurting her. He just put his hand on her as a show of appreciation, and that begs that. And when the Vox goes, "You with a pun," that was clever. That was actually a very good moment.
It's
It's
also just
just
a
a
great
shame that
joke
Alistair
too.
is a piece of shit otherwise. But
It's also a
that's
great
beside.
joke too because it's very much
Mhm.
in like in just it's right up this show's alley and vibe where it's just like someone's just finds something someone else does absolutely annoying and hates it. Alistair hates the idea that Vox puts his hands on people the way he does.
Mhm.
And that's why. That's the only reason why
Yeah.
he loses at the end was because of that stupid shit. It's like
Yeah,
such a
that's
dumb
I'll
thing,
give
but it
the
feels so great for this show. But yeah.
I'll give it the credit, the show credit. That is funny. That is clever. Now, if you can give Alistair a bit more debt, that'll be nice too. But
Mm,
beggars
fair.
can be choosers.
But I think it does say something that that's one of my favorite Charlie moments from this season. And
Yeah,
it's
because
not
it's not even
really a
about Charlie.
Charlie moment.
Yeah, she's there definitely, but and that's the other thing we get. I think it's episode 5 when she brings over, Sarah and Emily and all of the other angels, and they just go like, "It starts with sorry," and it's like, okay, so heaven just apologizes for all the times they just came down here and slaughtered us, and we're supposed to feel okay with that.
Mm,
Yeah, and it's like Vox is making a very good point here. You're not just
yeah.
going to forgive something like that. But Charlie, the master planner, just thinks, yeah, no, Charlie. I feel Charlie from season 1 would look at us and go, no way, this is too stupid. We need to actually think this through
I
because this
mean,
is not gonna work.
there is
And
the potential, and I mean, I think this comes back to an issue with season 2 where it felt like even if Charlie from season 1 wouldn't have thought that, right? Even if you can say that, right? Like, no, she's just such an optimist and she's so into the idea of forgiveness that she would think this would be okay. And it's like, well, no, there are levels to forgiveness. This is something that's going to take more time and do and require a lot more work in order to forgive because this was literally just heaven coming down there and slaughtering people for no
And this is
reason.
actually, and again, right after that, we have Charlie being pissed at Lucifer and Vaggie for going behind her back. And it's like, so where's that forgiveness now, Charlie? Yeah,
Well,
she does forgive them, but not
it's one
before she
of
throws a tantrum.
one of the things I was getting at though is that if Charlie had recognized, if there had been some recognition from Charlie, like, oh, yeah, actually, this is a problem. This is going to require more work. This isn't just that easy, right? And maybe
Hmm.
that's something they plan on doing for season three, but it is having her go through this. But like, that should have been maybe the arc for this season, where season one is all about the idea of forgiveness and letting go and moving forward. Season two can go into this idea of like, well, hold up, things aren't that simple and that easy all the time. It's not always possible to let something go and move forward, and Charlie has to recognize that idea, right? And she has to come to terms with that and say, okay, well, it requires more work. All right.
Hmm.
And we didn't really get any acknowledgement of that from her. So there's no real arc for her to go on this season.
Yeah.
You could maybe argue that she learns that a little bit of the idea that redemption is very personal and it requires more work than just saying sorry. But I don't even know if she learned that per se. There's no indicator of her learning that. And that's kind of a problem as
And
well.
also because it all comes down to something, though, that do you really need to learn that if you're going to make such a big claim, you need proof of that? Because hacking the systems to show serpentures from heaven should have been your goal even before you called Vox into your hotel. You need proof. This is not a matter of character development. This is not a matter of learning. The entire all the problems she's facing this season are essentially coming down to her, and that's my biggest issue.
Well, I think the big issue, I would say, right, is that, and I think something this is what the show's trying to get is no one has any fucking clue how redemption works. They didn't even know it was possible until it happens randomly, and
Yeah.
everybody's like, what the fuck, right?
Hmm.
And
Even heaven is kind of like, wait, what? This is a thing. So
yeah,
yeah, everyone.
but which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually really interesting. I would say the issue comes in that, okay, this should be Charlie's learning moment, right? And it seems like we get a little bit of that, but it feels so background for Charlie. Like that's not really the focus, and I feel like it should be because that feels like her big goal, her big thing is redeeming people out of hell. So hell isn't as big and isn't as overcrowded as it always is as of right now. And it's again like it's an alternative to the extermination, which now the extermination stopped. Okay, so now we can focus on redemption, but we don't learn until later in the show that okay, redemption must be a very personal thing. You can't just do it the same way and it works like that, right?
Yeah, because that's something we learned that they tried to do the exact same thing with Angel that happened with Penches, but then they are like, oh, wait a minute, we can, the reason that it worked for Penches is because he was him. Angel is not him.
Mhm.
We need to cater this specifically towards Angel.
But it feels like just such a throwaway line that Charlie says that with, right? And it feels,
Hmm.
and we very quickly move on from it, and it feels like that should be more of a focus of her character, and it's not. Because,
Definitely.
and I think it comes back to, I do think character focus like that took a bit of a back seat for the story that wanted to be told, which was Vox being the big villain and dealing with him, and then moving forward to whatever's next.
Which, by the way, do we have anything else to say about Charlie, or can we just talk about Vox now?
Yeah, let's jump into it. Again, Charlie,
So
fine, but just there,
I
really.
would argue not that much fine, but
I mean, at the very least, she's there. She has
Again,
one of
even
my
that's the
favorite
better,
moments from the show, from the
which is not even
season.
about her. She is just a character in it, but sure.
It's something.
I guess so. Okay, you know what? I was teasing it, so I just want to say that before I watched a few episodes of this with friends, and before we did episodes 1 and 2, one of the friends just casually mentioned Jack the Ripper. And then we get to the episode 2 where we see that the Serpentris is essentially a part of the Jack the Ripper story, and it's like, oh
Mhm.
fuck, that was such good timing. So wanted to share that. That was funny. So Vox, I liked Vox in season 1. I liked him a lot more in this season. I
Yeah.
feel making him the villain was a very smart move. It He's very relevant to the kind of world that we have today in terms of using the media to overshadow people and to determine what people think and use that. That's you can say commentary and everything. I think it's smart enough about it because he is a media showman, so obviously that works for him. I enjoyed the backstory he gets in
Yes.
this one, in the one song. Which, by the way, Vox gets a lot of songs in this season, and like I think most of them are bangers. Like most of them are going to be their songs to take away from the season, and
Yeah, I mean,
they're all
Christian
great.
World does great. Like for him, it's very good songs, very good VA work. Yeah, agreed.
Mhm. So everything about Vox, fantastic. I don't really have much to say besides the fact that the vocal performance and the songs and the animation on them. I really liked the little detail that whenever his eyes like starts having the circles in it, that you just think that this is just him going absolutely mad, that this is him at his but then you find out that it's also the fact that it can actually hypnotize people. That's really clever. That's a very cool animation detail
Mhm.
that goes a long way. I love that. That's fantastic. That's really cool. I like again that he's kind of just this tries to play himself up as the big leader of the V's, and at some point even Valentino and Velvet just don't give a shit about him, and they're like, no, 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 no. You need us. You are nothing without us. And it kind of ends up fucking him up in the end. I like that. But I
Agreed.
also enjoy his plan that essentially realizes there is something up there. There's a way for us to get there and to like use people and what we do to get up there, which then connects to his backstory that he always kind of wanted more. He never had enough. He always wanted more and more and more and to climb higher and higher up. So I think I just enjoyed Vox a lot this time.
I also enjoyed we didn't mention it too much, but the like backstory for him is when he was a human, right, and how that all worked out, and just the
Like I
little
said,
bits of detail that were thrown in there with like who he killed and how he killed them, right? Very enjoyable, and then how he himself died as well is also very enjoyable. Like
which you
again, a
see,
lot
this
of
is
good
the other
stuff
thing.
there.
The because the idea that again he died by having a TV fall on his head, that's pretty pathetic. But they walked in because in his design he has a TV for a head as a demon. So yeah, that's kind of clever.
Well,
Not unlike a certain other character that we did.
Alistair does have deer features, and when he goes into like that other form of his, he's very like deer slash chupacabra like slash what the fuck is the other one? The
Okay, you know
other
what? Fair enough. You got me
mythological
there. You got
monster
me.
I forget the name of, but yeah.
You got me there. I didn't think about that. You got me there.
So like, yeah,
Now,
let's be a little fair.
yeah, I get. So you see, I am willing to say, you know what? Fair enough. I forgot about that.
But
That's on me.
I will say though, I do think Vox being a villain, I think at times I feel like the story or other characters, like we mentioned Charlie for example, have to make concessions for him to work sometimes as the villain,
Yeah, that's the big issue that I have. Like I said, characters serving the story.
which yeah, it doesn't feel as good, and I think does take away from him being a villain somewhat. It feels like they didn't really have any way for this to work with Charlie being the character she is and Vox being the villain he is, so they had to make some concessions somehow and somewhere.
To go back to episode 3, that seems to be the one that really breaks the whole thing.
Mm.
If if Charlie didn't, with her own consent, with her own thought process, invited him to the hotel to see how things go, Vox would have no weapon against her. Or if she actually tried to get the proof before calling him in, he wouldn't have the power to go after her. But she does the stupid thing, and now he has.
You can say, and I mean the show does give an explanation to some degree that Charlie's just not in a good state of mind for most of the season, but
But at what point does it stop being an excuse?
yeah, it definitely feels like it's a bit much at a certain point because it goes on for episode 3 and then we have the other episode. I think it's
Episode
episode
4,
4.
she's making the same thing again by going to,
Yeah, Katie Killjoy.
Killjoy's interview.
From that point it seems like she's in a better place, right? But it still feels like the story is making concessions from her and maybe from other characters too to make sure Vox works.
And to be fair, I get you. You are not. I am with you, but I think also that Vox has enough going for him as a villain this time around, to that it's not just the other characters consenting
And I
to
would
it.
agree. I
He does.
actually would agree with you too.
He does have his moment. Like, even if Alistair is essentially giving up to him, but giving up in that fight, there, he still, whenever Alistair is trying to talk shit to him, Vox tells them, "Oh no, being a smartass isn't going to save you now. I am the big guy here." Like, he tells them, "You're my bottomless bitch." That's a good line in that song, by the way. It's like Vox works as a villain just because he also has great moments to be a villain. Do the heroes need to consent sometimes in order to make it yeah, it's not as impressive, but he has his legitimately good villain moments. Like I said, when Charlie brings up the thing, the group from heaven, you can again, she kind of serves the plot here, but the arguments he makes, the arguments he shows, the stuff he
Are
says,
valid.
and the way it's presented, that's valid. He's a great villain.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you actually. I think I am being somewhat nitpicky here, right? But I do agree with you. I think Vox was a great idea for a villain for this season. I think he did very well, and I would say Vox and the V's really carried this season, to be honest,
Mhm. Yeah,
and their
it's
interactions
what
with the other characters.
I guess you could say it was their season,
This
and
is true.
at least they delivered.
Yeah, no, I think if there's any characters that came away doing really good this season, it was definitely the villains.
So, anything else to say? Oh,
Uh, mm, I mean, we didn't talk too much about Sarah and Emily, the seraphim
all
from
right.
heaven.
Uh,
They were
to be
fine.
fair, like, they'll fine. They'll fine. Like, I liked
Oh, Sarah and
Sarah's arc, and
Serpentius' song as well. I forget which one that
yeah,
is.
that was a good one too. Yeah,
And Sarah's
but it's like,
song also with the monitor, I believe is what they're the speaker of God. Yeah,
yeah,
also really
I
good.
uh, definitely good moments, but n- not a lot to say.
Nothing that stands out, I would say, but still very enjoyable. We saw Emily get a little hurt, so she has a new wing now, a gold wing. So but again, some fun stuff going on. But yeah, nothing like major from them, which I think is
Yeah.
fine. I don't think they need to be the focus of the show right now. Maybe later, but not right now.
hmm let's see about it in the future seasons, I
Mm.
suppose. Which, by the way, if there's nothing else to say, what would you like to see in the future of this show?
Oh man, I mean, next season we have to do something with Lilith, right? That has to be number one. Like Lilith has to
Yeah.
do something. We can't say have Lilith call at the end of season 2 and then tease it again for an entire season and say, be like, all right, see you next season when we finally answer the Lilith question. It's like, If
Yeah,
they
I
do,
hope that.
clap, clap. I love this level of trolling. But that is not a good idea for a show to do it not twice in a row, but three times in a row at that point.
Yeah, well, I would even say that doing this one time was a bit underwhelming. So if they do that
Again,
again, I'm like, nope.
I love it because that is a wonderful troll, clap, clap. But I do get why other people would not love it because it's not necessarily a good idea for a show. So, yeah, you have to do something with the Lilith, number one. Number two, for me at least, I would like to see again, I don't want season three to feel like more setup. I want you to answer a few more questions, right? Like if you're gonna, involve something like say gravity, for example, and everything going on with Loot and potentially Adam and Abel, do a bit more with that. Hopefully, like stuff
Mhm.
like that. Don't introduce new things in the season and then just do nothing with them or give them such
Yeah.
a just kind of conclusion because again that feels really cool, it feels really enjoyable, but nothing came from it and I wish it did.
Mhm. So, unless you have anything else to say, sorry.
No, you're good, go ahead for it.
Okay, so, well, for me, one, and I'm not saying this to be a sarcastic asshole or something, ironically, but give me a reason to like Alistair, please. Please, not hard.
Maybe you'll get that.
Uh, so, but on a serious note with us, um, I think one thing I would want to see, and this is something that I'm not sure if I'm directing this at the crew or at Amazon. Let stuff breathe. You have eight
Mm,
episodes. Don't put so much in there. Or if you're going to put a lot in there, Amazon, give them more episodes per season. Because
yes,
I feel like this show is really struggling with how much it actually wants to put in that they can't or they do, and it leads to nothing in the season itself. So
I think
just
that's
manage the time a bit
incredible.
better. I think
Yes,
it can do a lot. I think it can do a lot for the show
yeah, I
if you
think
have more
there's
time to dedicate.
100% a diamond here, and if you give them just a bit more time to just like you said let things breathe, I think you would see you'd see this show shine 100%.
And the other thing, this is just kind of a thing that because they said it's gonna happen, so I wonder now that Hell of a Bus is under Amazon as well, and they did say that because of it, there's going to be some crossovers. I am curious if we're going to see the Hell of a Bus cast to some degree in the next season.
Mm, I would be interested.
Like, I'm not expecting like a full blown crossover or something, but I wonder though, because we knew since the beginning of time that they take place in the same universe. They just couldn't really do anything with it. But now that both shows are under the same Amazon umbrella, I'm saying, you know what? And they did promise that there's going to be some crossovers here and there. Then you know what? Why not? Maybe IMP is gonna show up at the Hazbin Hotel for a mission, or maybe just one, or maybe there's a character from Hell of a Bus that can just come in to try to be redeemed or something. You have potential there. I kind of want to see how this is gonna play out
Or
because
maybe
people who know me know that I enjoy crossovers because of the character interactions. So I want to see how this would go.
I mean, or maybe like we see some of the, because we know like Hell of a Boss has introduced the idea of like royalty within Hell, right? Yeah, like we see, what the fuck is a Stolas? Maybe
So
something with
let's
Stolas
yeah,
or
and
some
just
of the other
the
Hell
and all
royals.
the scenes, and and all the scenes there, like like there are all the scenes there as well, with Satan, and that Lucifer actually can't be there for a second, and
Mm-hmm.
he has the sign. So yeah, how does this all connect? If there's actually royalty in hell now, what does that mean for the V's? What does that mean for Charlie?
Yeah, like what does that mean for the overlords, right? Like we have the overlords. Are the
Mhm.
overlords on level with the royals of hell? Are they less than? And we've
And how does
also
it connect to heaven?
and we've also
That's
seen
another
like
thing.
some of the like Beelzebub, right? Like Beelzebub, right?
Mhm.
Where does
Yeah.
someone like her fall into the hierarchy when it comes to Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss, right? Because you have like original demons right there, you know, other than Lucifer.
So I'm not sure if it's going to be for season three necessarily, but I'm curious to see how those two shows can connect now.
Oh,
So
fair,
if
fair.
it can be in season three, looking
That'd be
forward
interesting.
to it.
Yeah, agreed.
With that being said, anything else to say besides watch the show? Because if you did, and you're in this part, then we kind of spoiled the whole thing.
If you didn't, yeah. I mean, again, it's a very enjoyable season. I might have some. I think most of what I might have some grievances with it. I would definitely say, as of right now, I prefer season one over season two. But that doesn't make it bad. It was still very enjoyable. I still had a lot of
It's
fun with it.
like I said, it's annoying to me because there are a lot of stuff I enjoyed about the season. Like whenever new episodes came out, I watched them and I had a good time. I even have I have
Mm-hmm.
no issue watching them several times, and the soundtrack is on loop and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many issues that I just can't ignore because I feel like the issues harm the show.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It definitely there's a lot of even if you just want to call them nitpicks, there's a lot of nitpicks that just take me out of it a bit more and just leave me kind of sitting there. It's like, well, this was a fine season, but I think I prefer season one more. I do hope they can bring that back with season three, and I think they can. I think the creators behind the show and everyone working on it, I think they're all more than talented enough that they can do it.
I will say, regardless of everything we just said, season two showed that they are willing to listen to feedback and try and
Mm-hmm.
fix what didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So, if this is going to be a thing for season three and we're going to get a better product in the end, more than okay with that.
Yep. Agreed.
So, with that said, that's all for this episode of The Outcast. We hope you enjoyed it. What do you think about Hazbin Hotel Season 2? Were you disappointed by it? Were you surprised by it? Did you like it? Did you not? You can tell us all about it in the comment section below, on our Twitter, which is Berkcast with a capital B, capital C, and on our Tumblr, which is Berkcast Team. So until the next episode, I was HC.
I was Wolf.
And we will see you all next time. Take care.
Bye bye.